What's up, everybody? Joey G in the place to be. A lot of sports going on, and it's pretty sunny here today in Philadelphia. Just want to recap some things. In sports this past weekend, we had three game sevens. Three game sevens, and all the road teams won. Minnesota beat Denver in Denver, which surprised me a lot. The Pacers beat the Knicks in New York, Madison Square Garden, which I picked. I picked that one. And Edmonton beat Vancouver last night in Vancouver after being down 3-2. The Pacers were down 3-2 too. And the Timberwolves were down 3-2. So all these teams, three teams in two different sports, came back from 3-2 deficits. It's never over to the fat lady Shanks. But yeah, and I'm wearing my Sixers shirt. I'm from Philly, and I love all my Philly squads. What's going to happen to the Sixers? I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing I don't want is Paul George on a 5-year contract. A 2-3-year deal with another player like a Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets, I call him. Yeah. Because at this time right now with the Sixers, it's time to win a championship. We've been going through this process now since 2015. That's when they started this process thing saying. I was around 2016, whatever. But you get my drift. This has been going on for 8 years at least. Okay, that's done. Joel Embiid, God bless him, has got Bell's palsy. The same thing Jim Ross from, the play-by-play guy in wrestling, who's in AEW now. You're numb on the side of your face. If you saw Joel Embiid during the playoffs at the foul line, you could tell on the side of his face, So we got to win. If the Sixers, who I think is one of the most cursed franchises in pro sports, period, and I really mean that, we got to win a championship. We got to win this championship now. And hey, now, I know I talk fast sometimes, but I think, my personal opinion, I think we should draft Bronny James with our first pick or second pick. What do you call it? Draft Bronny James and get LeBron. We'll win it. I think we'll win it. I don't know. You have LeBron and AD in LA, and they didn't do nothing. So, who's to say LeBron and Joel are going to do something? But the thing is, we got to win something now. We can't rebuild and go into this rebuilding shit. No, we got to win something now. Like signing Paul George to a 2-3 year deal. Tobias Harris, he's got to go. Got to go. Oubre, you got to keep him. You know what I mean? We got Maxey, but still, you just can't have Embiid, Paul George, and Maxey. I think if you get a Jimmy Butler in here, somebody, you know what I mean? Shit, I'll take Russell Westbrook. You know what I mean? Somebody else that can add something, you know what I mean, to scoring, because we got to win. Now, I'm not saying put a super team together, because most of the guys you're going to put on there are going to be up there in age. Joel's now just, starting to get to the end of his prime. He's still got a lot of years left, Joel does. At least he's got 5 more years. But, he's still in his prime. You know what I mean? He's put up great numbers this season. But him and Maxey just can't do it with just, and he was hurt a lot half the season anyway. Embiid was. But we need another player. You know what I mean? And I did say LeBron, and hey, if we get LeBron, he's one of the greatest of all time. Some people say he's the greatest. I don't think that at all. But some people think he's the greatest. We get LeBron in here along with Maxey, you know what I mean, and Joel Embiid and our role players. I think we really could do something. Definitely win 50 games plus, maybe 60. But then again, there's a different scenario I got. Sign Paul George to a 2-3 year deal. Because Paul George and LeBron play the same position, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know what I mean? That's another thing I want to get on in a second. Where's LeBron going to go? But sign Paul George, and you trade and you get Jimmy Butler back here. And you have that. You got Embiid, you got Paul George, you got Jimmy Butler, and you got Maxey. You got a squad. You got a team that could win 60-plus games, at least 50, you know what I mean? As long as we get in the playoffs, as long as we get that 6th seed even, which I think we get higher, as long as we don't have to play in, you know what I mean? As long as and I think we would get like maybe the 1st seed if we got all that. But we'll see. As far as this, where's LeBron going to go? A lot of people think he's going to stay in LA. Personally, I don't care. I'm just reporting news. I think there's a good chance he's going to stay in LA, but not with the Lakers. I can see him going to the Clippers because Paul George is going to leave there, whether he goes to Philly or New York, which they were, but New York already has somebody that plays that position, you know what I mean? But Paul George is going to go somewhere, which leaves a void. So you're going to have, LeBron just basically go to Inglewood, because that's where the Clippers are playing in that brand new arena right next door to SoFi Stadium, where the Rams and Chargers play, and where they had the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and where they had WrestleMania a year ago. So, I mean, it's a beautiful stadium. But I heard the Clippers' new arena is beautiful. I mean, they're finally, they're not playing in the same arena as the Lakers. And they used to have their own arena back in the day, the Clippers, the Los Angeles Sports Arena. And the Lakers played in Inglewood. Now the Clippers are going to Inglewood. You know what I mean? Where the Lakers used to play. And the Lakers are still at the Krypton. It'll always be the Staples Center to me. I'm old school. But the Lakers will have the Staples Center alone to themselves, along with the Kings in hockey. But, yeah, but LeBron, as I'm saying, I can see him going to the Clippers. I can see that happening. Him joining, it's not big. You get James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard. You know what I mean? And you got a squad, and you put LeBron on there. You definitely, they're definitely automatic favorite in the West. Other than that, maybe he does stay with the Lakers. I don't know. I can see him going back to Cleveland, no doubt, with that young team there and putting him on there. They definitely would be probably the number 1 pick in the East with all that young talent they got and LeBron. And maybe he goes back to the Heat. Other than the Clippers and Lakers, the Heat and Cavs, I don't know where else. I mean, maybe Golden State. But that's ring chasing. Maybe Shaq. He's staying out west. I can't see him coming to Philly. I can't even see him coming to New York. He's got money. I mean, I can see him going to Cleveland because that's Ohio's his home state. You know what I mean? He has a house in Ohio. He lives in Ohio, half of the year. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't really care. I mean, I'm not a big LeBron fan. I'm just giving my perspective. But real quick, my NBA Finals playoff predictions. As tonight we start Indiana and Boston, game 1. I think Indiana's going to sneak by and steal game 1. I really do. As a matter of fact, I think Indiana's going to win the series in 7, 6 or 7. I really do. And in the West, I think Minnesota's going to. I think it's going to be the Indiana Pacers and the Minnesota Timberwolves in the NBA Finals. That's my pick. I mean, when the playoffs then, I know I might have said a couple things before, but I can't see Dallas beating. Dallas is a good basketball team. I just can't see them beating the Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves will beat them in 5, 6 games. I don't think that's going 7. That could possibly, no disrespect. Unless Luka's not hurt and he's playing and Kyrie's on, possibly the Timberwolves could sweep them. You know what I mean? Possibly. I don't think so. I think in 5 or 6, Timberwolves win, and they win that series, no doubt. Yeah, they win that series against Dallas. In the East, I'm going to say Indiana and Boston, and that does go 7 or 6, but I think it goes 7, and Indiana Pacers shock the world, and it's Indiana and Minnesota in the NBA Finals. That's my pick. I said it first. Then when we get there, we'll pick who wins. But I'd want the Pacers. I think Minnesota is going to win it all. That's my pick. I'm picking the Timberwolves to win it all. I want the Pacers to win it all. But I think the Timberwolves are going to win it all. Hockey, of course, my team, the Florida Panthers, I'm from Philly. But besides the Flyers, I love the Florida Panthers. They're going to whoop ass on the friggin' New York Rangers starting tomorrow night in MSG. And in the West, hey, another Game 7, as I said. The Canucks won last night. Or not the Canucks, my bad. The Oilers won last night. They went into Vancouver, won down 3-2, and they won. So it's Edmonton and Dallas in the Western Conference. In the beginning, I know in my beginning podcast, I said Florida and Edmonton. But I've been watching hockey. I'm picking the Florida Panthers and Dallas Stars in the Stanley Cup. So you got my picks. NBA Finals, Indiana Pacers, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. NHL Stanley Cup, Florida Panthers, Dallas Stars. This is Joey G. Raw was great last night. Gunther in the King of the Ring. He'll get the winner of Randy Orton and Tom Matanko on Friday night on SmackDown. This is Joey G. I'm out. Peace.